It's in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Now at 6:30, video from 6 months ago, because after this terrifying fire on board a Carnival cruise ship, passengers who say their trips were ruined are still fighting for a refund.
I mean, to have a fire on your ship, that's like the worst thing you would ever want to happen, and then to not do anything.
So frustrating how Carnival is responding tonight and what you can do to protect yourself from a similar fate.
And the ballot in one county might be way longer than you're expecting. We're walking you through everything that is up for a vote, including one initiative that could impact your child's school. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, Getting Results. Thank you so much for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormith. We'll have those stories and more coming up, but we do want to start with a check of that forecast as we take a live look over the Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera over Daytona Beach. Beautiful shot there. Let's get over to meteorologist Jonathan Keggis pinpointing areas that are seeing some rain at this hour.
Yeah, and you can see some of those taller clouds from the thunderstorms that were inland as the cameras pointed away from the beach. Likely seeing these guys here just to the west of I-4. Now the storm's filling in around Orlando, especially on the west side of town. We have a bigger thunderstorm right around the Haines City, closer to Davenport, to south of Four Corners now, with a whole lot of lightning getting into there. We were watching that about 15 minutes ago on the News 6 side of things on the TV, but we have the storms now really blossoming as we move towards the I-4 corridor, again closer to Celebration. Storms firing up around Claremont. They're going to start to push back towards Lake Apopka over the next hour or so. Before we gradually watch things fizzle out, Winter Park, we're seeing some darker clouds to our south and west. Same for us around Lake Mary, Sanford, mainly to your west, just a stray sprinkle as that storm fizzled out. We're going to watch again for the potential anyway for a little bit of things to fill back in, really on the west side of I-4, maybe blowing back toward Winter Park or Orlando, Baldwin Park. Nonetheless, I think you're looking good tonight for the rest of the evening in Edgewater, Titusville through Merritt Island, Rockledge into Vieira, Satellite Beach, Palm Bay. Nice and dry tonight. Same really for us closer to Marion County into Ocala, Denellen. I think we're going to be good to go the rest of the evening as well. We're going to talk about when these storms get on out of here, where the storms are at now, and then breaking down more tropical juice coming down the pipeline as we get to the weekend. Coming up in about 15 minutes, guys.
Tropical juice. Thank you, Jonathan.
Sounds like a new drink.
It does,
Capri
right?
Sun.
Get Pinpoint weather on the go, plus use live interactive radar with our free News 6 Pinpoint weather app. Search WKMG in your app store. Turning now to our results 2024 coverage. If you've already requested a mail-in ballot, it's likely on the way in your mailbox right now. And just a heads up, it's going to be a lot longer than you may be expecting. In Orange County, in addition to voting for president, U.S. Senator, state attorney, and more, there are 5 constitutional amendments, 9 county charter amendments, and a school board referendum.
Yeah, it's a lot to swallow, and News 6's Laverne McGee is walking us through what you need to know before heading to the polls in November.
Orange County is now the 4th largest supervisor of elections office in the 3rd largest state in the union. So our decisions will impact the entire country.
Orange County Supervisor of Elections Glenn Gilzine says to look out for your November ballot that his office mailed out today. He's overseen 5 successful elections this year, and his goal is to make it as simple, safe, and transparent as possible.
What are we seeing here? I have the first page. Tell me about how you laid it out.
So what I did was to make it simple for our community. I wanted to make sure that all of the candidate races are on the first page of the ballot. And then followed by the second page, what you'll see is that all of the state constitutional amendments are on the back. And then the county has a number of amendments, as we saw in the news. And that's also right here listed. And then last but not least, the school board has their own referendum, which is on the extreme back of the ballot. So take your time, get your ballot in hand early enough so that way you can read through the issues. Also, what you'll notice on our ballot is that we have it in both English and in Spanish.
Even if we all live in Orange County, it can look different depending on what district or what area you live in, right?
That is correct. Yes, based on where you live, where you reside, dictates what candidates are listed on your ballot.
When you're finished filling out your ballot, you'll be taking your sheet of paper and feeding it into the machine yourself. Now, if you do have special needs or need assistance, there will be people here to help you.
October 7th is the last day to register to vote. Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, so let's go over those key dates again, as Laverne just mentioned. The voter registration deadline is Monday, October 7th.
Thursday, October 24th is the deadline to request that your ballot be mailed.
And early voting begins Saturday, October 26th and runs for a full week until Saturday, November 2nd.
All of this leading up to the big day, Election Day, which is Tuesday, November 5th. And right now at clickorlando.com, we have a voter guide, and you can get just about any election-related question answered in this one article. You can find it by clicking Results 2024 in the drop-down menu in the top left-hand corner of the homepage.
Well, it is the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and even though there is a significant drop in breast cancer death rates over the past 30 years, not all women are benefiting from the advances in early detection and treatment. An American Cancer Society report finds breast cancer incidence rising by 1% annually, especially in women under the age of 50. Earlier today, anchor Lisa Bell spoke to a local oncologist about those stats and how often you should be getting tested.
Important to note that you should get a mammogram every year, right? But not everyone does that.
Yes, and so there are different guidelines that you may find regarding screening for breast cancer, but the major cancer societies and radiology, surgical societies do recommend that women get a mammogram starting at age 40 and have that done every year. And you should keep going as long as you're healthy enough to undergo the treatment related to a diagnosis of breast cancer, then you should continue to have screening for breast cancer.
All right, so even though that's the base, Dr. Henry goes on to say the reason that breast cancer diagnosis is increasing in younger women is because of technology and early detection, which gives a higher chance of survival. You can watch the full interview right now by going to clickorlando.com.
6 months after a Carnival cruise ship caught fire mid-cruise, passengers are still fighting for a refund.
And many of those passengers are learning the hard way that cruise lines do not owe you anything when the trip doesn't go as planned.
Surprising. Investigator Lewis Bolden has been following this story.
There's so many better ways that they could have handled this.
Michelle Mackenzie Hernandez says it was her friend's first cruise. And midway through, the tail of the Carnival Freedom caught fire.
Team members are swarming the deck, pushing everybody in, running in and filming, and it was kind of crazy.
Mackenzie Hernandez says many of the venues on the back of the ship were shut down for the day, including the pool, restaurants, and basketball court.
Would you say it ruined your cruise?
Yeah.
The fire was one thing, but Mackenzie says the way Carnival has handled the incident since then has made it worse.
I mean, to have a fire on your ship, that's like the worst thing you would ever want to happen, and then to not do anything.
Carnival is not giving refunds or future cruise credits to any of the passengers. A spokesperson for the company wrote in an email to News 6. We did not offer compensation to guests who were on Carnival Freedom when the fire occurred because the cruise was not interrupted and no ports were missed due to the fire.
Is there a way that people can protect themselves from something like this happening?
Everyone should have travel insurance to protect them and cover them in case of anything like this that were to happen.
Tammy Levent is the owner of Elite Travel and recommends cruise passengers book travel insurance, not through the cruise line, but with an independent company. She also recommends adding a trip interruption rider to any policy you purchase.
Because that is where most of your insurance coverage comes in, is under trip interruption. It's not that you're going to cancel it in the middle of the cruise. You were interrupted because it was a fire on board, and that interruption ruined the rest of your trip.
Mackenzie Hernandez says she has taken about 50 cruises, most with Carnival. She says frustrated is an understatement.
They just, I feel, completely dropped the ball on customer service.
Now, in that email to us from Carnival, a spokesperson went on to say, we offered guests compensation who were set to embark on the next 2 cruises because we canceled those sailings as we took the ship out of service to complete work on its funnel. So the people that were supposed to take the next 2 cruises got refunds. The passengers on board when the fire happened did not. Getting results, I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
Make it make sense.
I can't. I really can't, especially for someone who's cruised that many times on Carnival and there's no...
Yeah, I mean, even if they made just special compensation for people like her who 50 or more cruises with one particular cruise line.
I feel like Carnival can get away with just giving everyone on board that cruise, that specific cruise where that funnel caught fire, just a free cruise.
I mean,
hazard pay.
You're traumatized. You're on fire and going to
Seriously.
port, but enjoy your excursions,
Mercy.
everyone.
All right, so WKMG is hitting the road again, and we are heading to Pine Hills next. So if you live, work, or spend a lot of time in that community, let us know what the issues are that need to be resolved. Also, those hidden gems that make Pine Hills unique. You can take out your phone and then scan the QR code on your screen, and that will take you to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Just fill out the form and let us know what you want us to look into.
All right, so let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. A new minimum wage law went into effect Monday. It'll give employees an extra $1 an hour, and businesses across Central Florida are chiming in on how they feel about the new rules.
In this article on clickorlando.com, local owners talk about how it's going to affect their business. Check it out if you want to read more. And here are some of the other trending stories on clickorlando.com. Hurricane Kirk is more than 2,000 miles away, but this story will let you know how and when it could still impact Central Florida's beaches. And an island in the Tampa Bay area was just rated by Thrillist as the creepiest ghost in Florida, ghost town in Florida.
Yeah, I saw pictures. It did not look inviting. Clickorlando.com and News 6 digital producer Anthony Talcott, though, joins us now. And so, Anthony, tell us a little more about this strange island and where we can find it, if you want to find it.
Yeah, well, luckily for us, it's really not too far off from Central Florida. And in fact, you can find it at the head of Tampa Bay, like you guys are saying. It's a small, abandoned island by the name of Egmont Key. Now, the key's been at that site for a lot of military campaigns stretching all the way back to the 1700s, but the ghost town that we're talking about today, that was set up at the turn of the 20th century. Now, during the Spanish-American War, the U.S. set up Fort Dade to help protect Tampa from enemy forces, though thankfully no Spanish armadas actually ever ended up trying to invade. However, the fort was used as a training center for the National Guard during World War I, and with so many folks flocking to the island, not just soldiers, it ended up becoming its own little town. Now, at its peak, over 600 people lived on the island, which sported electricity and reportedly featured a hospital, jail, tennis courts, movie theater, and even a bowling alley at one point. Now, not everything was fun and games, though. The island is teeming with mosquitoes and rattlesnakes, and having to ship goods from the mainland made living there a bit expensive. But after the war, technological advancements rendered the fort's firearms obsolete, and it was eventually deactivated in the early 1920s. Now, over the years, wildfires and beach erosion took their toll on the ghost town's buildings, though you can still find the old brick roads trailing about. The park ranger, Mr. Tom, is the only permanent resident left at the island, and a 19th century lighthouse still stands close to where he lives, though it's not really used anymore. But the biggest draw is the 3 abandoned military batteries that were left behind. There's Battery McIntosh, you can see here, which regularly floods during the rainy season, making it tough to get around. Battery Howard sits just near the shoreline, though its large white rooms have been cleared out for, a few decades now? And then right after that, lastly, we have Battery Mellon, which gives a great view of Tampa Bay for those who are willing to make the climb. It's pretty steep, but it's a really good view. And visitors can check out the sites where Fort Dade's many buildings once stood. And for those ready to explore the area, there's even a secret bunker that you can try to go find. Now, here's a hint. Keep an eye out for the 2 fire watch towers. That'll help you out.
Okay.
Now, you can take a ferry out to the island if you're interested in exploring, though it's suggested you try to go outside of the stormy season to avoid all the mosquitoes. And just be careful not to get lost. It's pretty creepy wandering out there all on your lonesome. But if you want to take a look at the ghost town from the comfort of your home, you can check out my story, where I posted plenty of pictures from my own adventure out there. And as always, you can find all of our top stories on the homepage at clickorlando.com. So, Ginger, Justin, you guys want to take a trip out there?
You already know the answer, Tony.
Honestly, the ghosts aren't my main concern after the rattlesnake comment.
I'm worried about Mr. Tom living out. Did you meet Mr. Tom?
Yeah,
I did not. When I went out there, he was tucked up in his home, and he was just refusing to come out. So I've heard he's a pretty friendly guy. He's got a lot of crazy stories out there, but he likes to hole up when he's not working.
Okay, this sounds like some kind of creepy Tubi movie, because I don't think Mr. Tom really is a person. It's a ghost who's running the island.
It's a spirit.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
To answer the question, I guess, at the time of day when you went, Tony, I think I would be more willing. Not at night.
At night, yeah.
Nah, that's a no for me.
Yeah, during the day, it could be fun. There's a lot of folks boating
Beautiful,
out there.
too. I saw, like the views and things like that. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it's stellar, but I would not want to get caught out there at night.
No.
No, sir. I'll just click on your story, Tony.
Bingo.
Thank you for the legwork. Appreciate it. Well, it is a worry among anyone with a medical condition or the elderly and their family.
Now, though, there's a way that they can be recognized and share their personal information if they're unconscious. So coming up, the new technology helping first responders save lives. Jonathan.
And we are still pinpointing a few showers and thunderstorms out there, mainly right along and around the I-4 corridor. We're dry along I-95. We're drier near I-75 as well. We'll talk about where these guys are headed and a wet end to the weekend coming up.
And it's been decommissioned for nearly 50 years, and now it's headed to its forever home. Coming up, where the SS United States is being put to rest and how it could help solve a major problem happening in the Gulf of Mexico. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results for all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, here's a live look now. Look at this. Oh, yeah. What a beaut. This is Daytona Beach from our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera. What are we doing in this studio?
Well, some of us don't have that beautiful sunset tonight because we're getting washed away once again with some showers and a few storms out there.
Where are you going?
To Daytona Beach.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Let's get over to meteorologist Jonathan Gekas. Yeah, they hit the jackpot tonight. Beautiful shot.
For sure.
We do have some evening showers lingering, though.
We do, yeah, especially inland, far inland from that beautiful shot there, closer to the I-4 corridor. It's still not
just imagine eating some like shrimp.
Oh man.
Or a fish sandwich and watching that sunset.
Come on, man.
Are we having a cocktail too? Is there a cocktail involved?
Of course.
Okay, great.
Of course.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
And really all up and down the coast, from Marineland into Bunnell, into Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, we're looking good to Daytona Beach. It's all inland, again, right smack dab along and around I-4. Still not as widespread as last night. We may see an uptick over the next 30 minutes to an hour. This is where the sea breezes are coming together right around I-4 and Claremont, Mineola, and Montverde. That's where we're going to see things try to fill in as we are getting more storms than what we talked about in about 15, 20 minutes ago. We'll see if that trend continues again, but by and large, we're not going to see these things linger too late into your Wednesday evening. 83 right now in Daytona Beach. We are at 84 in New Smyrna Beach, and over the next couple of days, rain chance is going to stay high again, low in the morning, and then ramping up as we go through the the early stages of your afternoon. And again, another clean sweep shows this little pocket of storms trying to pop up right where those two sea breezes are coming together. Future radar doing a very nice job tonight. I think it's just missing it by an hour at least to flare up, and then you see things by 9 to 10 o'clock. Things really starting to wind back down, just a stray downpour in the mix. Now, once we get into tomorrow morning, there's 6 o'clock. Most of us are going to be on the drier side. Then we'll see a few storms pop. I still think the chances for rain tomorrow are going to be even lower than what we're seeing out there right now. And again, they're going to focus inland throughout the course of the afternoon as well. Here's another gorgeous shot. This is just down the road from Daytona Beach. What's going on in Brevard County at the port? Launch Credit Union camera, gorgeous sunset again tonight. Looks like a painting out there. 84 degrees under a mainly sunny sky, the breeze at about 7 miles an hour. We're holding tight at 81 in Kissimmee to St. Cloud, 84 in Orlando, 84 in Sanford. We're at 81 in DeLand. Now here's a look at your Pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Temperatures tomorrow getting back to around 90 degrees, pretty much holding steady in that department as well. 86 in Palm Coast, also 86 degrees in Daytona Beach. Tropically, we're still pretty active out there. Nothing threatening Florida right now. We do have Kirk, that's a hurricane. This thing is going to take off overnight. Wait to see that satellite image in the morning. This one is going to stay in no man's land out to sea. Tropical Depression 13 formed today. That is also expected to become a hurricane and also expected to stay in the middle of the ocean. We're still watching this feature down here. Again, Hurricane Center still has that orange area shaded. That's the potential development area. It's going to be born out of that broad Central American gyre thing, same area that Helene came from. However, the environment not going to be as conducive, and we're watching for things to be kind of strung out. This is the atmospheric moisture. We're focused on the purple and the red color here, and notice how we just have this broad area, this hodgepodge of moisture into the Gulf of Mexico that is going to work its way toward Florida. So the track of this thing, whether it gets a name or not, and I do think if it does get a name, the intensity is going to be capped on there. It's got a shot, but nonetheless, biggest opportunity, again, biggest threat with this is going to be heavy rain. Right now, that heaviest rain looks to focus south of Orlando. It's going to be a big squeeze play, though. All that blue on your screen, that's the drier air that's kind of forcing it down south. We're going to watch to see where that heaviest rain times out, shakes out. Right now, it looks like it's South Florida. 50% shot for storms on Thursday, 40% chance on Friday. There are those higher rain chances by the end of the weekend, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Tonight, those new age ID bracelets we first told you about back in August that promised to be game-changing. So are they? A Port Orange nurse invented them and donated hundreds to local police departments to help locate lost or missing people, children especially. And she designed them to do something that no other bracelet does.
So News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken went back to the inventor and the police chiefs who were initially excited about the brand new bracelets to see if they're now getting results and protecting our community as promised.
We're going to just tap, we're just going to hover right over that logo, and it's going to populate. You put the discretionary information in there that you're comfortable including. So if you want to put an address, you can put an address. If you don't, you leave it out.
And you can just click the button and it'll call the phone
You've
number
got it.
that's
Yep.
embedded in here.
Exactly. Hi there, my name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the founder and CEO of Shareware.
And Amanda, how in the world did you come up with this?
So I had been doing some work on the side. I was working as a nurse full time, and I was doing some QR code type of custom projects. And my mother-in-law approached me when my father-in-law fell ill last August and asked if I could somehow create a QR code bracelet that somebody could access in the event that he had a medical emergency. So that's really where it all got started.
What was the problem with the existing law enforcement bracelets?
The existing law enforcement bracelets do not allow anybody in the general public to be able to tap and access the emergency information.
One of the things that struck us about this is we've done lots of stories on lots of bracelets, wearable technology at different police departments, but this is the first, as far as we know, in all of Central Florida, where anyone with any phone can scan them. You don't need a police officer to scan that bracelet.
Yep.
That's kind of game-changing.
Yes, it is. It's, if you think about it, it's a force multiplier. I am Jason Umberger, Chief of Police, DeLand.
And Chief, you were the first department to get these bracelets. This was a donation.
Yes, we received a donation from Shareware back on the 4th of July, I believe it was.
When these bracelets came in from Amanda, what was your reaction?
Very grateful. This is a technology that I had been looking at in the past. However, this is a new twist to it.
What kind of results are you getting?
Oh my gosh, the feedback has been tremendous. So especially just from these moms in the special needs communities, these children of individuals with various types of dementia or Alzheimer's, just the response and the gratefulness that something like this has come to market that they have needed has been enough just to propel us forward and keep us going.
And if you're saying to yourself right about now, how do I get one of these? Amanda tells me they've now donated 225 of them to 7 different police departments and the sheriff's office across Volusia County. So you could come right now to right here, the DeLand PD, at least while they still have them, or you could just order them directly from Amanda's website. They start at $21. We put a link to it inside this story on clickorlando.com. Just look under the Getting Results tab. For now, protecting our community in DeLand, Eric Von Anken, Getting Results, News 6.
I mean, there's such a need for
Absolutely.
that sort of, and it's incredible that it's just a local inventor who just said, hey, I got an idea. I'm in the business of,
Yeah.
being a nurse.
And the
then to
QR
put
code
it-
is key.
Yeah, and then to put it in motion, awesome stuff.
For sure.
Well, the fates of a retired ocean liner, the SS United States, will soon rest in the hands, or rather in the ocean off of the coast of Florida. So after weeks of uncertainty, Destin Fort Walton Beach and the SS United States Conservancy, which currently owns the ship, announced a deal was reached. The plan to move the ship from Philly to Okaloosa County. So they planned to initially sink the 1,000-foot-long ocean liner into the Gulf of Mexico, creating the world's largest artificial reef. That's what they're doing. So experts say that coral reefs in Florida have lost an estimated 90% of their corals in the last 40 years. It is a serious problem, and sinking ships like the one here, they create a new underwater habitat for fish to gather and allow corals to grow on the ship's surface. So
that is fantastic.
I love
what a
that.
great way to repurpose something.
Right. Bring back those fish. And I'll tell you, you find those little coral reefs or the ships at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's always where if you go out with like a fishing guide, they take you right to those places.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, mold is something that you usually don't want in your home, right? Yeah, you don't
No,
want that.
nobody wants that.
Not that I've heard of. But this piece might be an exception. Find out why it's going to auction, why experts say it could fetch up to 50 grand. Stay with us. We're back in 2 minutes. All right, so how about this? This is a piece of medical history here, and it's going up for auction.
Doesn't look like medical history,
No.
right? The original piece of mold involved in the discovery of penicillin is expected to fetch some big bucks. Auction house Bonhams says the medallion of mold could go for $50,000. Alexander Fleming accidentally stumbled upon the world's first antibiotic in 1928. So that changed the course of modern medicine and has helped curb many diseases since then. He then created medallions with the original mold in it to gift people. And now it's being sold to the public. The auction runs from October 13th to the 23rd. Could you imagine somebody's like, I would like to gift you this mold?
Yeah, it's a weird sell. Although the history behind it is pretty neat. I don't know if it's 50 grand neat, but neat
I mean,
nonetheless.
I have some mold in my refrigerator on some cheese right
for
now.
free.
that-
You can have that for free. Yeah.
No auction
I don't know,
happening
it's
there.
pretty-
But I
pretty
mean,
cool.
But
it
it's
changed the
Ginger's
course
mold.
of history.
I'll put that on my desk.
I want
Paperweight.
more for you, Jonathan. Hey, thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. See you back at 11.
Just scrape it right off.